Hello, we're here.
Meat spreads.
How are y'all doing? We're back.
I don't want any pizza.
Pizza, cookie dough ice cream, anybody? Burgers, sausages, pork chops? Pork chops. I had a barbecue, it was awesome. I had first barbecue of the year. Burger, sausages.
Hope you're all well. Some of us are still stuffed from a plethora of meals over this weekend. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back.
Did well.
Mutants and Masterminds. We're going to go straight into quick announcements for what's coming up on stream on Infinite Monkey Tales. We'll whiz through it really quickly, guys, because we want to get straight into this show.
Come on, let's go.
That's the wrong one. There you go. There's April. So coming up in April, we have where we got Mutants.
Oh, excuse me.
Go on.
My job.
Go on. Hurry up.
So we've got Mutants Masterminds tonight, and then we're going to the offline Dungeons and Dragons on Monday, and then the offline Vampire the Masquerade session 0 still on Tuesday. Next month literally is at the moment just falling into the normal routine, as you can see on screen, of D&D, Blades in the Dark, and Mutants and Masterminds. Andy and Angie show will be back. I'm thinking. I did give a date, but I can't remember what it's date now. And we're going to have questions and answer day, and there's Carbon, which is we unfortunately had to miss last night, but it will be back. Don't worry, it'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So yeah, so we've just got to fit in the questions and answers, and we've got to fit in Andy and Angie show, and I need to speak to Jonathan Hicks as well because he wants
to do things.
He's got 2 games he wants to run for us, so I need to speak to him.
Awesome.
And
So, yeah.
as always, guys, get into our Discord if you want to stay up with the latest and what's going on, or even get involved. Check out our YouTube to see our past streams, and follow our Twitter to see random nonsense that we occasionally tweet out.
Yeah.
Do
It's
join.
always about people role-playing games, which is something.
But yeah, do check us out because great. If you're new here, welcome. And like I said, join our Discord. We're a great bunch of idiots who play games. Occasionally have a laugh quite a bit and tell great stories. Well, at least I think they're great stories. They're quite fun.
I think they're great stories. I'll second that.
Basically,
I'm
we're a
looking forward
bunch
to
of
that.
friends that have fun together. That's it.
Yeah. Hi Jade, welcome to the chat. Who else is in so far? There's
Jade.
Croy, there's Paul, there's Meow Nerva, there's Ange, there's me. Is anybody else there in chat? Can anybody hear us? If you're here, let us know.
Everybody.
If you're lurking, thank you for the lurk. You won't hear that, but thank you.
If you're lurking, well, you might be lurking and doing something like tidying your room, or sorting out your books, or playing a different game. You might be playing World of Warcraft. Just a thought. You never know.
And hello to all those people that watch us afterwards on
In the VODs.
Yep, because that happens a lot.
Yep. And YouTube's as well.
YouTube's the thumbs up.
But
Tell
do
your
come-
friends about the YouTube.
Yeah, if you're watching the YouTubes, do still come and check us out on our Discord. There should be a link at the bottom of the video or on our main page. If not, head over to our Twitch channel. It's definitely on the Twitch channel. I will make sure it is on the YouTube after tonight's stream, just to make sure. I'm sure it is.
I just noticed the title for tonight's stream.
Spoilers!
Oh.
You guys aren't supposed to look at that.
Oh, don't look at that.
I don't know what it
Stop
means.
looking at that. I
I'm not
know.
looking at it.
I know
I've
you
wiped
don't
it
know
out
what
of
it
memory.
means.
It's
It
gone.
is my favourite one, though.
Why is that your favourite title?
No, the hymn is my favourite one.
Is that an actual? Who knows?
I have no fucking idea. I don't know.
We're googling
Yeah.
it now.
Are you googling
It
it
depends
now?
which book, doesn't it?
feels
It depends
very
which
meta.
book you're looking in. I don't know how hymn books work. How do they work?
They're a book and they have pages in them, and you start at the beginning, and then
Yeah.
you turn the page, and there's another page with different stuff.
But my thing is hymn. Would hymn number 3, for example, be the same in every hymn book?
No.
Well, not according to YouTube, because I've just
There
seen
you
2
go.
different titles for a hymn.
I was going to
on
say, I'm
YouTube.
pretty sure it's different in every single hymn book you ever go
There you
into.
go.
Yeah.
Oh.
You
There
see,
you go.
if like me, you were ever wondering whether that was the case,
Now we know.
now you know.
YouTube tells us everything.
This stream is educational
It
as
is.
well as entertaining.
It's fun,
Do you want
educational.
to spend the whole of tonight's episode trying to decrypt the title?
Edutainment. How about that for a title that's
Edutainment.
never been heard before anywhere?
Before we get into this episode, we have a sad announcement. I realised today that we have lost an episode of Mutants and Masterminds. And really annoyingly, we have lost the end of episode 3, part 3, the M4 fuck up, as we will now always refer to it.
Title?
Oh, yep.
I thought they'd be
I
something like the
you
arrival
wish
of an
you thought of
angel.
that one. The M4 fuck up would have been the perfect stream chart for that.
There you go. We've lost the episode.
Yeah.
It's forever gone. So I'm really sorry. If you were fortunate enough to be here on that episode, you'll know what we will always now refer to as the M4 fuck up. If you're new and you've missed it, I am so sorry. But it was a 3-hour episode that all escalated from a natural 1 driving check. Which
I
think
don't
all of our
remember
players,
anything about it. I don't
all of our
think it
players have now
happened.
learned to be very careful. And they've also refreshed themselves with a simple part of Mutants and Masterminds that allows them to simply re-roll should they fuck up seriously. So hopefully they'll remember that next time they fuck up. Who knows? So yeah, it's a bit annoying, but hopefully not. If you're missing it, what we'll do is we'll pin like a brief what happened in the Mutants Masterminds chat on our Discord. So if any of you ever need any reference to what happened in that episode, that's where you'll go to find it. But basically,
It'll be about 4 sentences long.
Yeah,
I
they fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything go boom.
They were on the M4.
Yeah, people
Things
running,
went wrong.
screaming, shouting. That was it.
I have a mission log roughly of what happened. It's very brief, if you'd like.
We'll get Kadari because I'm pretty sure he has an essay on that episode. So
Well, I have a shorter breakdown. It's only 4 points.
yeah. Okay, yeah. We'll sort it out. But I do apologies. It got missed. So it just makes it more special for those of you who did actually see it.
We will be talking about this for a long time, and you had to have been there. That's the thing.
But yeah,
It's
basically,
exclusive.
those
You
that
have to
saw
be there.
it are in on the joke. So you
Yeah.
have to have seen it to be in the gang.
Yeah. So sorry if you didn't see it, guys. Accidents happen.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was a good episode. But
But
pretty
there's plenty
sure
more
before
fun
long-
times
yeah.
to come.
I'm pretty sure before long we will have an episode even worse of a disaster than the M4. So give our characters a little bit of time. They're still breaking in their heroes, so it will happen. So,
We are doing well.
With great power comes great responsibility. That's all I know.
with that little apology out the way, we will begin tonight's episode. Episode 5.
Yes, come on.
That is the wrong title. I didn't want to be on this one yet. Oh well, we're here. There you go, Mutants Mastermind. So, before we fully start, we'll go over a quick few things. You've all got 1 hero point as default for this episode. Each of you are gaining 1 extra for
I've got 2.
Well, you should only have 1. You now have 2, so you don't need to change it.
Okay.
So you have 1 to start with on every episode, as per the rules, and I have granted you each an extra 1 for your RP in the previous episodes you've all been in.
Oh.
It's not because you think we need it. That's what it is, right?
Those hero points allow you to, those hero points are gold. You guys need to understand that they can do a lot for you.
It was
Yep.
all Ben. He got me that hero point.
Yeah.
Um,
He was cool.
That was a villain of the piece right there.
Oh, I forgot. It was free. Who were we freeing? I forgot his name.
We don't know yet.
Yeah, you don't know. So if you didn't know, the last 2 episodes happened at the same time. This episode is going to be set 2 days after. So you will have probably talked to each other, so you kind of know the gist of what's happened on each side of stories. Gem knows that you guys fucked up, and you know that Gem helped escape a mutant convict from a kinetics facility. I think is probably the most adequate way of explaining that situation. But yeah, and if you missed any of them, do go check them out on YouTube. So, without further ado, let's start tonight's episode. Ooh, let's see. It is Saturday, the 16th of March. It's 9 a.m. Doc, what are you doing at 9 a.m.?
I would just be coming home from work at that time.
Care to do me a driving check?
I never said I was driving.
No, that's fine. Yeah. So you're driving home. You are driving. You're in your car. Tootling down the motorway. You know, it's 9 a.m. in the morning. Traffic's fairly light and everything. And you're listening to you've got the radio on quietly, and all of a sudden, the news comes on. Good morning. The time is 9 a.m. on Saturday, the 16th of March. Our headlines this morning. Kinetics last night made a press announcement following their win at this week's court case. After a no-show from the key witness, Mr. Booth, the judge had no option but to find the courts in favour of Kinetics. The police are still searching for Mr. Booth following the explosion that happened at his residence. So far, the police have stated no bodies or casualties have been identified, and Kinetics are still insisting that this was a failed attempt to cast them into further suspicion. Anybody with any information to Mr. Booth's current location or the explosion at his premises should contact the police. In other news, Kinetics have increased their security levels across all of their sites following what they have advised the press was an attack at a Kinetics facility. The public have been advised that there will be a greater presence felt across most of the UK for the next few days. Kinetics are now also insisting that strict measurements need to be put in place and are now in talks with the government with a new device that they have created that is able to suppress the abilities of dangerous mutants. Traffic news. The M4 has finally now been reopened following an incident on Thursday. Police have fully handed over the case to Kinetics, who are following claims from the public that there was some sort of fight between several mutants, which resulted in 2 fatalities and a section of the motorway being destroyed. We'll have further news in 10 minutes. Enjoy your drive with the following tunes. And the radio goes back to its usual whatever music your Doc likes to listen to. Yeah. And yeah, you're struck with this feeling of, you know, it's not good. Maestro, where
Hello.
are you at 9 o'clock in the morning?
Maestro is where he's been ever since Thursday, which is back in his bunker/home. He has not left.
Yep. And you're in your bunker. And so what's your main use of communication, would you say?
Normally it'd be a phone, but since Thursday, all forms of communication have been cut off from him. So probably the only way to communicate with him would be to find him or telepathic.
Okay. you're in your bunker, and there's suddenly a knock, or you have a front door and everything, and your alarms go off to dictate there's somebody at your front door. And I assume you have CCTV and everything. And when you go to look at it, you see a strange person with a hood on and everything, and they leave a little card on the floor and walk away, almost as if they knew you were watching on the cameras.
I'll wait a while, sense to see if they're still around. There isn't much places they can stick around because it's hidden underneath an apartment block. And then I'll go out when I'm sufficiently happy they've left and take this card.
Yep. And this is one of Weeping Widow's business cards. But written over it, it just says 10:30 today.
I guess I'll go get a shower.
Yep. Gem. What is Gem doing at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning?
I am out for a run in the city of London through the streets, and I'm just returning.
Yep.
And I'm wheezing a bit. I'm just kind of a bit short of breath and like kind of struggling to breathe just a little bit, but I'm focused and I'm not letting it get to me.
Yeah. And you're coming back to your place, and you get to the door of your residence, and you notice just in the mailbox of the door there's a little card. And also you see this and you recognize this as one of Weeping Widow's business cards. And again, on the front, it states 8:30 today. At 10:30, sorry, today.
I get out my phone and a text, and I say, "WW, tonight? What we doing?" ?
It does say 10:30 a.m. Sorry.
All right. Oh, okay. And I just say, "What? I'll see you soon. What we up to?" ? In text.
Weeping Widow.
Mm-hmm.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. What are you doing?
Well, I'm in the back room. I have a couple of bodies come in. One that was from a car accident, which I am disinfecting and washing down. Second one is ready to be embalmed, so I'm just in the process of doing both them.
Yep.
I'm also scraping the bodies for their DNA for my secret DNA collection that I have.
Okay. I don't know what to do with some of that information. You're sat there, and all of a sudden, across the desk,
Call the police. I think that's what you should be doing.
Your phone lights up, and your little text message tune goes off.
And I pick up my phone and go, "Which bastard's changed my ringtone today's time?"
And you see, as you're looking at your phone, you have a text from Gem.
And I text back going, "No idea what you're talking about."
Gun. What is Gun doing on a 9 a.m. Saturday morning?
I think he's probably nursing a slight hangover, and he's kind of sitting in his apartment, which has got this kind of big open window that's kind of overlooking the city, and the sun is streaming in through there, which is causing him to kind of narrow his eyes a lot. He's just dry swallowed a couple of paracetamol.
Yep.
That's 9 a.m.
Yep. 9 a.m. Fairly acceptable. And as you get up, you walk around your flat, as you do, probably turn on the TV and everything, and probably put the coffee on or get a beer out, whichever is Gunn's preference. And you don't notice it at first, but you walk past the front door and you notice there's a business card on the floor.
I wander over to the door there. I
Yep.
open it slightly and have a look out, see if there's anybody around.
And there's no one. The corridor is still a bit dark because the window that lights this corridor is away from the sun, and some of the lights aren't on for some reason. But yeah, there's no one there.
Okay. Push the door to, and I'll have a look at the card.
And you pick it up, and you notice this is one of Weeping Widow's. It's got her business card, and on it it's written 10:30 a.m. today.
Okay. And I sigh heavily, and go and gather my things and start putting some clothes on.
Yep.
Getting ready to head out to the funeral parlor.
And Doc, you pull up outside your place, and you get out of your car, and you go into your place. What's your home like?
It'd be an apartment. Just in a small block. So it'd be like the second floor.
Yep. And as you go into your apartment, you open up the door, and there's a few bits of posts and everything that's been shoved through. And amongst the posts, you too find this business card. Again, Weeping Widows, saying 10:30 a.m. today.
I'll just sigh, go through the rest of my post and just get sorted, get changed, freshen up, and go to the funeral parlour.
Yep. And that's what you all do. You all get yourselves ready. You finish up what you need to do, and you make your way in a timely fashion to the funeral parlour. Weeping Widow, you're at the funeral parlour. It's been an hour since you've had the message from Gem, and he's probably, I take it, Gem, you responded to Weeping Widow, said basically, "Oh, we're on our way" or whatnot. Muted.
Text back. Shit. Don't know what's going on. I'm coming over. See you soon.
All right there, Ange. Yeah. And yeah, so Weeping Widow, you got this message to say that everyone's, well, that Gem's coming over at least. Do you prepare anything before everyone arrives?
I put the pot of coffee on in the other room and then go back to sucking out for the embalming.
Great. And yeah, time passes, and it gets to about half past 10, and you all kind of muster in, one after the other, sort of thing. The door's open. She is open for business, so you wander in. She kind of doesn't even weep with it. You're busy. The guys kind of know the drill by now. And they wander in, they see you torturing a body, and then decide to go into another room. Yeah.
Grab a cup of coffee.
And you're pretty
Coffee's
much,
on.
yeah. And everyone but Weeping Widow you're kind of mustered in the kitchen at the moment around this coffee pot, whilst you can hear the drills and the saws and everything going in the back room where Weeping Widow is butchering some poor body.
Oh, where's Pangolin? What a fool! What was he doing on the M4?
They'd rather not go over it.
You never guess where I found Weeping Widow. When I went to pick her up, she was hiding in a shed. She was hiding underneath some old tarpaulin covered in spider's web. Looked like a proper member of the Addams family. So
I
she
come
did.
through the door. Seriously.
What? Weeping Widow? Why? Well, congratulations again. I know we've spoken with each other, obviously, on the car on the way back. But I'd just like to take a time to congratulate the rest of the crew for a monumentally high-profile mission. Well done, ladies and gentlemen.
I
As I
just
mentioned,
glare at you and drink my coffee.
Yep.
You want
Yeah.
to crank the
And
decibels down a notch, mate?
oh,
I mean,
just been
you
out for
even, you know, when you, before the incident and everything, you actually saw Weeping Widow on the news.
Yeah.
Because you identified her running through the field, waving her
Yeah.
hands and everything. You've got a clip of that on your phone.
Oh, here you are. By the way, did you see this? I don't think I sent this to you. Look, check this out, and I hand it over to Gunn. First of all, here, Gunn. Look. Who's that there? And I point at the phone. Who's that? Look there. Look,
Good,
focus.
you look at this video and you can very easily identify Weeping
Yeah.
Widow running through the fields, waving her arms and everything with everybody else.
Yeah. I just hand the phone back to him. Look, just take it easy, pal, will you?
2 people died.
I admit that is unfortunate, but we all know that kinetics would have escalated that situation substantially, and there would have been a lot more than 2 deaths.
No, those losses were completely unnecessary. That was the biggest failure of a mission I've ever been on. We were leaderless, and we just were trying to do our own thing, and it just caused a spiral of chaos that cannot be allowed to happen again.
Maybe we'd been given the proper equipment. An ice cream van. What the fuck was that all about? If we hadn't had an ice cream van and maybe a proper van, we might have been able to drive and go quicker and not have it on 2 wheels.
Well, do you know
What's
who's?
done is done.
And where the fuck were you?
Well, it's funny you should ask that, but when I was watching you guys running down the M4 or through the fields of hay, being all happy as Larry, I was at my apartment. But just before that, I had a very interesting time. I was in the middle of, believe it or not, drum roll please, a kinetics establishment. Not just any, but a very interesting one where they take children and turn them into foot soldiers.
Only children?
So that's all I saw there. The whole place was set up like a creche, a nursery, a mid-school, a high school, the whole lot, until they were old enough and brainwashed enough. And believe me, there's some serious brainwashed kids in there. I tried to get a copy of The Great Escape, maybe a book or something, to get it in there, but they've bolstered security. I can't get back. The whole place is on lockdown. So
How many did you help escape?
one.
One enough for one child.
One child. How many children did you leave behind?
Oh, I couldn't even begin to tell you how many children were in that place. I'd very much like to go back in there and take the whole place down. And maybe we could do that sometime, you know? Maybe that's a possibility.
Before we get carried away with this conversation, it might be pertinent for me to say, hello, my name is Maestro. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I've heard about you. Maestro, pleasure to meet you too. And I reach my hand out as if to shake it.
I will reach out to shake his hand.
When
and then
you
put it away and go.
Gem, when you shake Maestro's hand, it's almost like a flash in your memory, and you suddenly go back to a couple of the other week when you were driving the van in the blackout, and you were approached by, you were pulled into a different world, into a dark room, and there was a mysterious figure in front of you, and you realise that this person you're shaking the hands with is that person.
And I look at them. Says, But you know me already, don't you? I mean, I've heard lots about you from the guys, but it's a
Not
pleasure to meet you.
exactly.
How does
I
that
was
work then?
assigned. Well, I was assigned on the job to monitor 6 groups of people. You were one of those groups. I had to contact you. You were clearly not very chatty, so I spoke to your friend.
Well, it was a bit of an inconvenience. I'm sure you'll understand that we were not expecting to be infiltrated quite so easily. But I see that you're on our team now, so welcome, and it's a pleasure to have you on our side.
I'll just take a deep swig of my coffee, and while I'm drinking it, you just hear in your head, "Yeah."
And just as you're stood there, you hear the little chime of the funeral parlor front door open, and very distinctively you hear a locking sound followed by it. And Weepy Widow, you're stood at the door, and you kind of just lean back through the door, and you see Alex walking in. He's dressed very differently. He's in a suit, a full suit with a vest and everything. It's the poshest that you've ever seen him dressed.
Alex, I'm not hiring today.
Yeah, you going to a funeral, mate?
No, not a funeral. Just got some more business to do today. Still tidying up a lot of mess, you see. How are
Alex,
you all?
inconvenience and full of questions.
I'm quite sure. First things first, one of you said you had a key. Who has it?
You'll have to elaborate.
One of you mentioned you acquired a key?
I think that would be Gunn that had the key that he took from the guy that was in the caravan, right?
I think you
Safety
did,
deposit.
yeah.
Is that the one?
The safety
Yeah,
deposit
if it's
key,
a
yeah.
safe deposit one, Gun has it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got that for the London Safety Security Box. Land.
I'll hold that up. You mean this one?
That's the one. We've identified it, and we believe that you are correct. It is for the security deposit centre over the other side of London. Right. And that's what the professor gave you.
It wasn't the
what you said?
professor that gave it. No, it was the kid's dad.
But the professor gave it to the kid's dad.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so the story goes. Yeah.
Okay. I need you guys to follow that today.
You sure?
Yes.
What? You want us to go to a bank?
London
Yes.
Safety Security Deposits, LSSD.
Yes. That's the one. I want you to go to their security centre and see if you can find out what was being stored there.
What do we do with it when we got it?
Bring it to us. You guys, once you've done that, I need you to stay low until later this afternoon. At which point, I want you to meet me at Southwark Cathedral at 5 o'clock.
For what purpose?
You have a lot of questions, and I mean, you've not exactly done the best of jobs, but fairly so. Maybe we should give you a few answers. Let you know which side you're on, or which side you may be against if you continue in a disastrous and chaotic manner.
Which cathedral again?
Southwark. Southern London. I'll be there waiting for you. Don't be late.
Have we got a vehicle?
Is it an
Don't
ice
fucking
cream
ask
van?
him that.
Which is not a fucking ice cream van.
Your hearse has been replaced, and your limo has been replaced, Ange. So at the start of every episode, any vehicles or equipment that you have is replaced. So yeah, so probably sometime yesterday, they came, picked up the ice cream van, and replaced your limousine that you had. I would remind you guys that we aren't a very big organization. Well, we don't exactly have the luxuries of extra people and extra vehicles to just spend as need be. Can't always guarantee you exactly what you want, but we have something.
Alex, we had a bit of discussion about this. If you want somebody to look after your your portfolio, then just let me know. I am your man. It's not a problem. We can double, triple. I know all the wheezies, but bank robbery, not a problem. Easy, easy. And not like I've ever done it before. You understand? Of course.
Who said
Never
we're
before.
robbing a bank? We're going in and opening a safety deposit. Why do we need to rob it?
It's owned by
right.
Kinetic. We
Do
know this.
apologise. I was thinking we might be able to make our own little.
Look.
Anyway, I'll be quiet now. Then, if we're going to be, as you say, Alex, we're not going to be robbing this bank. So there's nothing you want to maybe just perhaps increase your coffers at Kinetic's expenses. No, are you sure?
I think it would be better if we can avoid raising the attention of Kinetics at the moment. They're already on
Right.
high alert.
So we're going in with the key that we've got to open a safety deposit box that we don't know what's in it.
Yes. Or
I think before we do anything, it would be pertinent to have a discussion before we leave today. I think last week we acted far too hastily and without full understanding of what each of us could do. If we know that, it might make things smoother.
Unfortunately for you, you had sense to call for help. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't have done that.
We would have died, most likely, or worse.
We've been
One
would have got
question.
eaten by spiders. Pangolin would have been flattened by those helicopters that were bearing down on him. Where is he anyway?
He's in a secure location for now.
Quick
for whose
question.
benefit?
Who was the kid man with the wings?
I believe we'll
Yes.
find out later on this afternoon.
Let's just say it's probably not the best that he had to come and help.
Things escalated out of our control. Sometimes, as hard as we try to plan things go out of control.
We did not
I
plan
understand.
anything, and that's why it went out of control.
If you trust in your instincts, it'll never be wrong.
That's what
Dude.
we did, and that's why everything did go wrong.
I think there was a bit too much hesitation there. I suspect you probably hesitated. Listen, you did well. Don't worry about it.
Look.
We've been worse.
We're not pointing fingers. We know it's not easy. We know you guys panicked. It's fine. We're dealing with it.
I swear that policeman had mutants in him to see in the dark that well.
I
Probably
wasn't
doesn't even
panicked, I just
realise it.
mixed.
To be fair, he was looking at a big blue guy in the back of an ice cream van.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pangolin is currently with us. We're keeping him low key because currently he's the only one that Kinetics have an identity on.
Good.
Unfortunately, he ran and threw things at the Kinetics helicopters, so they're pretty certain they're after a giant blue guy.
Too bad Jim wasn't there. He could have chucked him.
So far as our intel suggests, they don't know about any of the rest of you. Gem,
Ah.
I know you went into their facility, but we already had that handled, and we have wiped all their CCTV, so they actually don't know who came in that day, as far as we know. And we're confident.
After you left, there was a slight incident with a young lad. And there was only one way I could have got this guy out, who was the target. But this little snip, this snidey little, snotty little ass, he wasn't a pleasant character at all. I took an immediate dislike to him for good reason. He overheard a little bit of what we were talking about at the time. And no doubt there's somebody in that facility as well who is able to draw very uncannily. So I have taken my own precautions, and I have performed a small disappearing act of my own. And yes, I'm not taking any chances. I was definitely made at that place, no doubt about it, but I appreciate the fact that you've taken the most obvious trail out of the way. But those young mutants are very talented, And the sooner we get them out of there, the better.
Yeah. We're looking into the pictures that you told us about. The lad that you rescued, he has told us most of this already. There's something you should know, though. The child, I think it was Ben you mentioned, the one who was able to transform into yourself?
Yes, he was quite talented, but highly obnoxious.
Our intel suggests that he escaped.
Escaped or set loose?
We don't know. But our records indicate that Kinetics reported him as MIA the same day. And from what we've gathered, we have CCTV footage of him leaving the area shortly after you escaped, Kem.
And I look around, look at the new guy, and I look at him, and I just say, so, we know who this person here is without a shadow of a doubt, yes? I know each of you.
In your head, you just hear, "Yes, I told you my name's Maestro." My mouth does not move at all when I say that. You just hear it in your head. And I sip the coffee again and squint at you.
We need to have some sort of way of recognizing each other. If this doppelganger is in place, then they could infiltrate any part of our cell. And I look at the rest of it.
That's
And
very true.
they know me as well. I look at Maestro. You can invade people's heads, but can you take from people's heads?
Yes. I can also wipe from people's minds. I can also affect people through their minds. I can also make people see what I want them to see.
Could you just, before we continue, could you just go back, just take browse. Have a look at something in the past 4 days. Pick something, please remember it.
I'm going digging in Gem's head.
If you ever come
As
in,
deep as he lets me.
yeah. Well, and I didn't realize. I don't know what the rules are. So do I feel something when you're doing this?
You feel nothing at all.
Okay. So
Unless you have
are you-
sense, unless you sense mental stuff.
Are you resisting? Or are you
no,
allowing this?
because
If you're allowing it, you won't feel anything then.
most of my life
Well-
is on YouTube anyway, so it's not a problem.
Yeah.
But I want
Yeah,
I want them to look for a bit that is recognizable, and I do want a kind of. And I say to them, look for something that you don't think you've already seen on YouTube.
I want to find something embarrassing about him.
Go for it.
Okay, so Gem,
do I need to
tell me-
roll if he's letting me do this?
No, if he's letting you do this, you don't need to roll whatsoever.
I can pick up with some conscious thoughts then.
Yeah. So Gem, well, hang on. Maestro, are you looking for an embarrassing moment in Gem's mind?
Let's find something that he's really suppressed.
Okay. Gem, what memory would your character have really suppressed?
Gem robs banks.
He does.
Is that the most suppressed thought? I'll use that one.
In the kind of chronological, I'm assuming you're kind of going back through time. He robs banks, but the reason he suppresses it is because what happens is he takes some of the money, but with the rest of the money, he splits it into small envelopes, and he goes around the soup kitchens and the sort of homeless shelters, and he teleports in at night, and he drops a bundle of cash in an envelope, and then back out again. And he does this when he's on his runs, and he does it when he's never told anybody about it.
I just sip my coffee again and look at Gem and just go, maybe if the name Gem doesn't stick, you could maybe use Robin Hood. I'll raise an eyebrow at you.
I'll just shrug and go, that'll do. Remember that. And if you ever think you see me, but you're even in the slightest doubt, look for that. If you don't find it, then it's not me. It's that little shit Ben.
I mean, presumably, Ben is not going to have the same mind as yours. Therefore, me reading his mind will immediately tell me if it's you or not.
We can't take any chances. I don't know what his powers were. He might have been reading more than just that. I don't know. But this way, you'll know for sure. 100%.
How old was this child?
Oh, young
Actually, don't tell
teenager.
me. Don't tell me. Make it harder if I have to kill him.
Well, before you go planning on killing this mutant, at the end of the day, it's still a child. And the last thing we want is any more mutant versus mutant fighting on the news. So, if you do come across him, can we try and apprehend him without killing him?
You could always wipe him.
Of course we will, if we can get hold of him, after we can find out as much information as we can from him.
True.
So he could be any one of us right now.
Quite likely, yes.
What
could be
colour is
you, Alex.
Pangolin?
Yes, he could be me.
I'm gonna try and read Alex's mind because
Okay.
I know it won't work if it's the real Alex.
Can you do me a roll?
I can. It's 1d20 plus ranks, right?
It is yes.
I remembered. I'm a smart boy. Ooh.
And the moment you try this, you start getting a massive headache again.
Yes, Alex.
And you're reading your own thoughts, and you can hear an echo of your own thoughts in your own head.
Feedback loop.
Well, to be fair, I don't think if it was Ben, he would be telling us about the fact that Ben had escaped from the facility.
Unless he was double twisting it.
Nah, that's bullshit. That never happens.
Yes. Well, unfortunately, we don't have any futuristic method of being able to help you identify who's who. So for now, let's hope that he just doesn't know you guys and he doesn't know where you are, and we won't have to deal with him until we are capable of doing something with him.
Well, he
You
knows
have-
again.
You have other telepaths, right? Well, I know you have at least one.
We have similar
Perhaps have
telepaths.
them. Yes, perhaps have them check people.
We
I'm
are
thinking
for,
of okay.
we are for
And
the
I
people who we're interacting with.
Alex, Ben saw you.
Yes, he did.
So out of a few of us, he knows two of us.
Yep.
So, does he just copy your look and voice, or can he copy more?
We don't know.
And from
Maybe-
what we saw, he was able to copy our exact appearance there and then, and our voice.
Very
Powers?
convincing.
I don't know about powers.
Isn't that enough? Listen, if he was like the other kids, like we met one called Danny. Good kid. We need to get him out.
Do you want us to save someone called Danny?
There's a lot of kids in there, and we don't know who them are, but he was all right. He helped. If it wasn't for him, well, I wouldn't have got out. Alex, how did you get out anyway? You went to the toilet and were never seen again. Uncanny.
I have my methods of getting around. And it's not the first time I've had to escape a place. Especially a facility.
Alex,
Yes.
do you have special powers? You
No.
know a lot about us, and we know very little about you.
I did tell you the
Yeah,
first
like in
time.
fashion sense.
Yeah, I forgot.
I did tell you the first time that I'm not a mutant.
But we
What's
have no
with the
proof.
suit, Alex?
Told you I have business today.
It's a business suit.
Yes, well spotted. Now, Gem, regarding the other mutants, there's not much we can do with them right now. But we are working with Kevin, who is somewhat giving us some ideal to the situations and possible weak points. The garden area that you escaped from seems to be our current best way in at the moment. And as soon as we are able, and we are ready, we will mount a rescue mission. But the problem is one of a dozen facilities as far as we know.
Aye. And we're taking down not just the head, but we're going straight for the heart. And when that goes, but we have to be ready. We have to be ready. If an opportunity comes, count me in.
Look, we have a feeling if the public eye found out about these sort of facilities and what goes on there, they may not deem too happy. But we can't mount that sort of attack on kinetics when the public currently think that the mutants need to be controlled. So,
Well, surely that's the very best thing we can do. Drop somebody like FaceTube here into a place like that. You can collect as much evidence and then spread it all over the internet, right?
yes.
No?
And that's exactly what we're doing. But at the moment, we're still not 100% sure, thanks to the loss of Mr. Booth. We have no idea exactly what kinetics are really up to. And we're only guessing at what the information we have been able to find. What's going on? Which brings me to my other point that I needed to discuss with you this morning. Dr. Booth, you said he died.
Shot in the head.
Yeah.
And then his body exploded in the building.
Why do you ask?
I don't know if you've heard on the news, but they've not been able to find any body or anything yet.
Well, the building did explode quite dramatically.
Yeah, I would assume it would.
Yes. They haven't found anything.
Hmm.
And kinetics are either playing a good game at playing this because they're searching for him.
He did seem to have some form of powers himself, he said. He'd managed to give himself powers.
Maybe he
Perhaps-
wasn't dead.
Perhaps not. Perhaps he had a way around it.
Hmm. Right. Well, if you come across anything when you go to the security deposit box, like I said, bring it to us this afternoon. Or if it's something that needs following up, if you can, and can do so without causing chaos, see where it goes.
Do you have any information about this bank that might be
Ah,
relevant?
yes, this may be helpful. And he pulls out a key from behind him. And Gunn, you spot straight away, this is identical to the key that you have. This is another key for one of their other safety deposit boxes. And this is where things are going to get a little bit tricky. We went over there to see exactly what your guys are going to need to be able to get into this security deposit box, and this is the hard part. It's not just a key. First of all, you need to know the exact security safety deposit box. Now, I don't suppose any of you know which security deposit box this key is for. Because without that, we're
pretty-
already in a sticky wicket.
Well, I'm
we
pretty
have-
sure he didn't say there was a number.
Well, there was words and numbers on that note in his notebook.
This wasn't from the doctor, this was from the other guy.
Yeah, this is from the caravan.
This is from Arthur's dad.
Yeah. But the notes were from Mr. Booth, and it was Mr. Booth's key.
No, it's
So-
not. It's Arthur's dad's key.
Yeah, but it was given to him by Booth. I think that's what Doc's saying.
Oh, right, got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am with you.
Can I look at the key with my
Yep.
finance background? Maybe it helps, and there's some way I could, I don't know, like put a code on it or anything. Is there
yes.
anything to see?
Which
Is
key
it
are you
worth a
looking
roll?
at? Are you looking at your key or the key that...
Ah, I've got it.
But,
Alex
yeah, I
has?
think it's the one. The one we give to.
Yeah, the one that they picked up.
And the key that you acquired has nothing, no marks or anything. It's just a key. There's no engraving or anything.
Got LSSD written on it, hasn't it?
It
Yeah,
does have
that was it.
LSS. Yeah, that's the only engraving it does have on the handle, which is LSSD.
Oh,
I
so
would like-
I'd like to roll for that.
I have a hunch. I want to ask Alex. Alex, you say you've taken out a deposit box. What is the number of your deposit box?
Oh, I've got it here, and he hands you a receipt for the safety deposit box, and on this receipt is this.
I've got it. I will point. I'll take out my pocket, very crumpled, and I'll point at the note that
I've
says,
just read that. I
Yeah.
just opened it. Yeah.
17143D. That's our deposit box.
Yeah.
And I do apologise, chat. I have just realised that you're not seeing any of these rolls. Why are you not seeing any of these rolls?
We big brain Ange.
Yeah, I
Oh,
literally I opened up that Mr. Booth's note and I was looking through it. I was about to
So
ask about that.
I immediately saw the LSSD and I was like, yes!
Yeah. Hey, can we just all note this moment that I actually had worked that out?
Oh, there you go. You can see them now. Don't know what was going on there.
Well done, Mudo.
Yeah, sorry guys. But yeah, so that's the And do you tell Alex this, or do you just because he's looking at you
Yeah,
a
I'll
bit
tell him, he
confused at
just
the moment?
asked.
Yeah. All right. Well, this might help you then. You need security words. This is going to be awkward.
How
then.
many? How many security words?
Well, when we set up the account, we had to provide 4 security words, but this is the slight issue.
How about Blue Jay, River
Gold.
Gold, carrots and milk?
Yes, I'm pretty certain that they are probably the keywords, but there's an issue. They only
Of
ask
course
you
there
for
is.
2, and they ask you a question that you set, and you have to give them the answer.
I'm sure we can work it out.
Well, hopefully the questions won't be anything ridiculous, eh?
And if they are ridiculous and we give one of the wrong answers, I'm sure we can always pass it off that, oh, I'm sorry, that was one of our other answers.
Or we
Act
could
like a
read their
bumbling
minds.
fool, if it comes to it.
Alex, when you went in that place, or whoever went in that place, did they spot any detectors at the doors?
There was no detectors at the walls, but there may be an issue for you there. Yeah. You remember at the facility you had a slight issue, performance-wise?
They've got some new
Oh, yeah.
technology. Not like that. I'll assure you, gun. They've got some new technology. It blocks whatever my field of vision is passing through. It stopped a force field, a wall, a block. It was only until I got out with the air into the garden that I was able to get out of that place. If they've got that around kinetics, well, I can't just blitz in and blitz out again.
So, but you could still use your powers,
Inside,
but you're
not-
just stuck in a building.
but yeah, I couldn't get out. Well,
Okay.
who knows what else they've got? I mean, is it possible that they could block you, Maestro, or Weeping Widow?
Well,
I mean,
definitely. Alex can already block me.
It's possible. So, I'm not sure how reliable you can be on your powers on this one, guys.
I'd say we do this as civilians. Unless push comes to shove, we shouldn't need to use our powers in a bank.
Yeah.
we don't all need to go in as civilians either, do we? I mean, that's a bit. Should we not go in and open up an account? Perhaps I could do that. That's not a problem. I've got the credentials and money.
Some
you
of us
wish to-
could go in.
I should warn you, they do only allow 2 people into the basement area where they open up the actual holding area for your security deposit boxes.
Okay, we should start planning. We have the security deposit, we have the key, we have the security words. Is there anything else that is required to get into the security box, Alex?
Not that I'm aware of. Once you present the key and the code words, they escort you to a separate room, and then your box is delivered by a autonomous machine, which then you use your key to actually retrieve it. The key acts as a 2-part key. You use it once when you go in to to essentially give access to them for your questions and then use it again to open the actual box.
To ask a potentially obvious question, did you have to give the name of who the box belonged to, or did you just quote the box
No.
number?
They go off the key.
Like a
You
Swiss
know,
account.
yeah, these things are used for all sorts of manner of nefarious deals, transactions that I
Makes
wouldn't
our life a
mention
bit
about.
easier then. So the way I see it, two of us need to go in to go down to the basement. These two will be the ones who are giving the key and the security words to the teller. They'll then head down and retrieve whatever needs to be retrieved. We need to have the rest on standby in case things go wrong. We will need a way to be able to communicate with each other once we go down into the basement.
In theory, a easy job.
In theory. I would potentially say we need to take an electrical and a backup, perhaps myself, for communication within the bank. You've mentioned, Gem, that you can blag to open a deposit box. However, if you have been seen by kinetics and your likeness is spotted, that might set off alarm bells as soon as you enter the building. However, you will be the fastest getaway from my understanding of your powers.
It would be quite interesting to know. I would be very interested to know if kinetics have been able to make, if what we're told about Ben leaving, well, yeah, I'd be willing to put that to the test. If the worst comes to the worst, I can get out. Yep, that's true. It used to be so much easier. It used to be so much easier. Just go in, go out, get what you want, get out again. It wasn't like this. Kinetics banks are kind of.
So
I say, Maestro, you're an obvious choice to go in. If we're
I'm
gonna,
not the
if we,
best at speaking with people, but I would definitely be useful for reading or.
well, I'm thinking that if we're gonna have to answer some kind of security question, they're gonna either be reading it or they're gonna have it in their head, and you
True.
can see what that is, right?
Unless they have a strong enough will to resist me, then yes.
Is there any advantage, Doc, to you maybe disabling a few of the features in the bank from outside, perhaps? Is that something?
It depends on what security features they have, because if they lose power, it could lock it all down.
That's a good point.
If we already know what it looks like, I can get into places.
Yeah, but it's getting there and then getting out, and if we're to do
I
all
think we
that,
try to do this as civilians as far as we can.
yeah.
If you've
All right.
nominated me to go down into the basement, who else is coming with me who's good at talking?
Is it all personnel, or is it just the box that's delivered automatically? I'm asking Alex.
From when we went in, the civilians at the counters took us down below, in a room, box lifts out of the wall sort of thing.
What was the security like? Like, how many people was that noted?
There's a few people, but this was a couple of days ago when we went. We pretty much checked the place out the moment you mentioned it. As far as we know, it may be a bit tighter in security.
Yeah.
How classy was it in there? Were people wearing suits? People wearing like civvies?
It's not exactly a rundown place. But
Widow,
when
do you have anything more appropriate than this hoodie and jeans for me to wear?
Go through the room where all the coffins are. There's a staff room full of suits.
There is
Pallbearers.
one last order of business I need to sort out with you this morning before I leave you. And as I said, I'll answer all your questions later when you meet me at the cathedral, but we have to protect ourselves. And when I say ourselves, I mean our organization. If you wish to continue this, there is a safety protocol we need to put in place with you. Should the worst happen.
Well, you know me,
Okay.
Alex. I'm in.
Cyanide tooth, is it?
And Alex knocks on the door. You know, you're all stood in the kitchen. He knocks on the door. And in steps another gentleman. And some of you recognize this gentleman as Advocat.
No, it's you.
I look at Maestro. It's like, yeah, your master, is he?
I don't like people being in my head.
I laugh at him.
He's going to set up a simple defense that so far has worked for our organization. Simply put, should you fall into Kinetic's hands, your memory will be wiped.
Completely?
Yes.
I think I can handle that myself, Alex.
I look at Gun and I say, I think Gun can as well. What were you on last night?
With all due respect, it's a safety protocol our leader enforces. We cannot let you work with us further and meet up with us at the cathedral later if you're not willing to go forward with this.
I step forward. I've already been compromised once by our good friend here, Maestro, today, Avoca. If you would like to implant upon me your great defenses, I will be most grateful.
Does any of you object?
No, go ahead and do him.
Right. Then I will see you later. As I said, don't be late. And Alex walks out the door, and you're just left in this kitchen with Avoca. And he looks at you all. He adjusts his collar. And he looks at you all. And suddenly, for all of you, the world around you goes dark. And you are all fixated on his eyes. And echoing through your head several times, all you can hear is, if you are compromised, you will forget who you are. You will forget everything if kinetics get hold of you. You will not remember me. You will not remember anyone. You will forget. And it burns in your head for a while. The same. Your resistance fails there, Maestro.
Resistance is futile.
Worth a
And
shot.
These words burn. Your worlds go dark, and you're just all stood in this darkness with these words echoing over and over again. If you're caught by kinetics, you will forget everything. You will. And it starts slowly lifts. The words quieten down. The light comes back into the room. And you all wake up. You're all passed out on the kitchen floor. And it's now 11 o'clock.
I hope I'd put the coffee down.
There is a spilled coffee on the floor. One of you's dropped it. There's no sign of Advocate or anything.
I hate that guy.
Who are you? What the fuck am I doing here?
No, it won't happen now. Yeah, it's just going to happen if it goes wrong.
No, I
Oh.
was just kidding.
Oh.
Right, so
I'm
I'm
trying
gonna
to. I'm
get
getting
changed.
confused then. Don't confuse me.
I'm gonna go get changed into those better looking clothes. I'll get back and then we plan the nitty gritty of this. The more we plan, the less chance we have of having an incident.
Yep.
Then I'll head off to go get changed.
When Maestro says that, Gem's just got a huge grin on his face, just watching him leave, shaking. He's just Gem's just shaking his head. But yeah, Maestro doesn't see that. But I don't know if you're still reading the room or whatever. But it's pretty obvious. But
Yeah.
Do we
He's
know
already
that they've
categorised
done
it.
this? Do we remember him doing it? Do
yeah,
we know?
you remember everything. You don't quite remember like the blacking out. You remember him saying something, and you remember exactly what he said. It's still there. The
Right.
moment you think about it, it's burnt. It's almost burnt in the forehead. But you don't remember why. 20 minutes of your life has just skipped, and you don't know what happened
Right.
there. You
But
just
we
remember
know
him.
but we know that the protocol that's in our head, that we know that if we're going to get caught, we'll lose. Okay.
You're very well aware that you're going to completely lose everything should you get caught by kinetics.
When do you think they trigger it? Oh, fuck, I've got coffee all over the old whistle, haven't I?
So we lose everything and we lose our memory. I don't suppose they're even going to give us a new identity or a new life afterwards.
No,
Well-
we'll be with kinetics. They won't need to.
from what I saw,
You have a bit of a knowledge here that you know that if you ever, if a mutant who had been part of any regime or anything had been captured, there's no second life or anything for them.
I'll come back after getting changed. I'm now wearing I presume there is nice suits. Probably secondhand suits that you use to bury people, I guess, Ange?
Oh no, there's yeah, maybe there were some suits like that, but there were also the suits for the pallbearers and the
Ah, right.
mm.
Okay, so I'm wearing one of those. Everyone, you look miserable. What are you talking about?
yeah. Well, you're the one that looks like you're going to a funeral.
Well, bank, funeral, same thing.
He looks amazing.
Right. Plans.
Best he's ever looked.
The
Thank
bow
you.
tie's a bit excessive, isn't it?
I take the bow tie off.
Sighs, and he goes and sits down on the sofa next to Gunn or whoever's sitting on the sofa, and just like looks at Maestro, and says, "Well, I'd like to go in, and I would like to set up an account. So I'll be in the building, but I won't necessarily be the one downstairs. I just want to know if they've got an eyeball on me. That's all. If they see
That's
me, I'll
fine.
get out of there."
We could all go in and open accounts. It's not a problem, right?
I think, and without knowing the layout of this building, I couldn't possibly say what it would be like when we get in there. But I would think we have a vehicle. We have either the limo or your hearse. The limo is probably going to be less conspicuous, surprisingly, outside of a bank. We will need somebody to be in that vehicle and ready to go. You've nominated me. I don't know who else is coming in with me to go down to the basement. Gem, presumably not you since you're opening an account.
Not
So
me.
Gem is going to
I'm
be on the floor.
upstairs. Yep.
So either you, Doc, or you, Widow, will be coming with me, and my other one will either be staying in the limo or staying with Gem.
Can I tell you what? Everybody, can you do a perception check?
Oh, boyo.
Well,
22. No, 24.
Gem and Maestro, as you're talking, Gun, you definitely notice as well. You stood there talking, planning, and you just, out the corner of your eyes, you kind of all notice this at the same time. There's a little plaque on the counter near the door of the funeral as you're leaving that says, "For the bank job." And there are 5 little earpieces.
Oh, excellent.
Ooh,
We have these, and me as a backup, I suppose, then.
And so, you put these little earpieces in and you can hear each other. It's basically like a radio.
I have a feeling that Doc would be the best person to go in, because should she be able to use her powers or use the powers that they have?
I think, to put it bluntly as well, if things go south, I am going to be very ineffectual in a combat. Somebody who's going to the basement with me will probably have to do a lot of the legwork if a fight starts. I have not seen either of you in combat, but I've seen what you can do, and I think either of you would be sufficient. If you think, Doc, you're up to the task, I guess we'll go down to the basement and get the security deposit box and leave, and with a bit of luck, nothing bad will happen.
I feel Doc's more, from what I've seen, suited because I can throw things around and lock people in coffins.
Can you
But
also
I have...
make it? You also have very loud lungs and can make a good distraction without using your powers if needs be, I would imagine. I heard you screaming after running from the M4.
Droll.
Perhaps, so that's the
But I
plan,
can't
guess.
mess with electrics or have that kind of knowledge or anything like that.
So Doc and myself will head down to the basement. Widow and Gem will open a bank account together, while also being on general watch. Gun, either you will be in the car as a quick getaway, or you'll be in the bank as well. That's up to you. Anyone have any other ideas?
Let's get going.
Okay. And who is the driver?
Me.
Okay.
We're gonna get an
sure about
Uber.
Yeah.
No
Hey.
Ubers.
Before
Alan,
we
my own
go,
driving.
Yep.
Carry on.
no, I was just gonna say I'll go and check the room and get changed as well.
Yeah.
If I'm going in.
Is there anything else that you wish to prepare before you leave the funeral parlor?
I would like to speak to Doc.
Mhm.
Aside from the group, when maybe as you come back or go away, and I just want a kind of quiet word to be sure when nobody's actually listening.
Yep.
If I can catch you up down the corridor or something, Doc.
Okay.
And I say, Doc.
Yeah.
When you're in that place, just look out for electrical objects that are more than the usual scanners for metal items. They look like, and I give a description of what I've seen. There's probably a couple of people sitting next to them. If you see those, they're scanning for powers. If you see them, just try and make your excuses and get back out before you walk through one. I'll maybe have a word with that maestro and see if he can take the image as well from my mind of what I saw. But also, if there aren't any there, try and map the place out for me. I'd like to pay a visit afterwards, at night, if it's safe, and maybe do a little bit of withdrawals of my own. And I'll gladly cut you in if you're interested.
I'll
Yep.
keep an eye out.
And we will, unless anyone has got any other business they'd like to declare they're doing before you all leave.
I go to Maestro and just very quickly repeat what I said about the scanny things.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, look, just go in and don't delve deep, please. No more deep. Just look back a couple of days. You'll see where I was in that terrible place. There's these things at the door. Just at the beginning, Alex and I were walking through.
Yeah.
If you see those,
I'll try and pick up the memory of the power scanners.
Yep.
Just so I have an idea what they sort of look like.
And you do. You get a crystal clear image of what these scanners look like. They're basically like a metal detector, bit beefy, standard Kinetics logo on it, but quite clearly a bit different.
They mentioned these things were newish, no? Maybe they haven't rolled them out yet.
hopefully. But if you see them, don't go through them.
Maybe Doc can short them.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
And that's where we'll leave it for a quick break.
Wee break.
So yeah, so
So far, so good.
A very small break.
Yeah, a wee.
we'll
A
have
wee
a quick
break.
10-minute break, guys, and then we will proceed to visit this bank.
It won't be
Um,
quick. It'll be exactly 10 minutes.
Not 11.
Could be end up being 11. Yes.
We need to change the timer to 11 minutes.
No, it's an extra unnecessary minute. Well, maybe
that one
like
for free.
10 minutes and
11.
11 seconds. 11.
11.
Yeah, so go get yourselves a break, go get yourselves a drink, refresh yourselves, stretch your legs, and we will be back in 10 minutes.
Get a rhubarb sandwich.
Oh, Danny.
Hey,
A lab
Danny!
somewhere.
We need to save Danny. I
Hashtag
can't believe
Danny.
Danny wasn't saved.
Oh,
We need to start the campaign and save Danny.
yes.
You might get an opportunity to save Danny. Hello, by the way, guys. We're
What's
not
left
ignoring
of
you.
him?
We are aware that we're alive. Hi, we're back. The guys were just discussing whether or not they could ever or will ever save Danny, who Gem left in a facility.
He was already there when I found him. I didn't leave him anywhere.
After he helped him escape,
He
and he was
helped you
most
escape.
definitely in a lot of trouble at that facility.
I think he was in a lot of trouble. I don't think he's in any trouble anymore. Now that his organs have been extracted and
And it'll be seen on camera that he was helping him escape.
Yep. Yep. Well, no, because Alex did confirm with you that all the CCTV was purged from that day, so
Oh, good.
they wouldn't know that. But obviously, the guards who he attacked would be very well aware that they got attacked by him. So without
Ben.
so without further ado, we're just going to dive straight back in. I don't think we've got anything to shout out quickly, do we?
bollocks. There you go. Was that enough?
Thank you to Funny Fencer for the follow. Much appreciated. Hope you're enjoying the content. Hope you'll stick around. And don't forget to join our Discord.
We're going to get Funny Fencer in for a Cthulhu game because
Ooh.
he streams in the guise of the Gentleman Cthulhu. And very dapper.
Hello.
Oh.
Yeah, we can do that because somebody has just found some Cthulhu Dark one-shots.
Aye, a two-shot to be fair. Yeah.
Shot. Well, all our one-shot. Well, before then, because all our one-shots are never one-shot.
You gotta get your money's worth out of these things. That's what it is.
So without further ado,
Yes.
crack on, shall we?
Smashing light, lovely.
So you're in this limo.
Very nice limo, by the way.
It is a very nice limo. And you're heading there. And Weeping Widow, you're driving, aren't you?
Oh, here we go.
Please, can you roll me a driving check? And this is not a joke.
No, he's serious about these driving.
Do I have a driving thing?
You will have it.
Vehicles.
It's on the bottom.
Vehicles.
Have you got a point in it?
Where is it?
Vehicles.
On the right hand side, vehicles. At the bottom.
Vehicles. I don't know. I've
Yeah.
got a point. I've got 3, 2, 1 in the O's.
Yeah, so you've got a point in it. Yeah, so you can roll it. Really bad if you didn't have a point right now, honestly. And you rolled a 15. Okay. Yeah, you're driving through the traffic, and all of a sudden the guy in front of you slams his brakes on. Don't see what. You very happily, you know, it's close, but you're paying attention. You slam on your brakes enough. Everyone in the car gets a woo sort of, moment as it happens. And you're probably beeping your horn and blinding Swaley out of the window at this guy who's just slammed his brakes on. Yeah, you.
Blinding Swaley.
No, I'm gonna drive by him, and as I drive by, I'm gonna drop a tombstone on his front of his car. Not really. Not really. I learned my lesson in episode 1.
Yeah. Just give him the stink eye or something as you drive past.
I
So Widow
will.
would think that.
I will remind you of this campaign.
That's what Widow is thinking because I'm a mind reader.
I will remind you of this campaign. I will and can take your first answer in these situations. Okay.
No, I
You were
retracted it.
thinking that. You were thinking.
Yes.
I mean, he might have slammed his brakes
Yeah.
on because an old lady had stepped out into the road or something. What are you going to do? Drop a tombstone on the old lady?
Yep.
Inner monologue.
As Weeping Widow drives past, you look at them, and in your head you visualize just snapping your fingers and dropping a tombstone on. But you resist yourself. You resist yourself. But you smile. And who's in the front passenger seat?
I'm in the back.
I'll be in the front
Okay.
here then.
And Gunn,
Yeah.
you watch Widow as she turns red, and as she brings her head back, you can see there's a grin on her face. She's amused herself by something. You're not sure what.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about a 20-minute drive. Traffic's not too bad. It is Saturday morning. It's not chaotic. And you pull up outside the address. There's a small car park, so you can easily park up in the front. And you are presented with the building that you can all should hopefully see.
We can see everything but the building.
Just the
Yeah,
front.
that's accurate.
Yeah.
So you can all see the orange dash that says entrance.
Yeah.
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 I can see it on stream a little bit more.
You can see it on stream a little bit more, but that's because I could not work out how to undo that in Roll20.
Oh. So don't look.
We won't
Okay,
look.
we're not looking.
Don't look at that.
Our eyes are
Roll
averted.
Roll20, you are a beautiful thing. So who is remaining in the car? Or is anybody remaining in the car? You don't have to.
I was kind of thinking of going in because I haven't really got a role in there. And then I was kind of thinking, well, maybe I need to be in the car in case they come running out.
Okay. Okay, so Weeping Widow, I'm going to move you. You're going to be kind of over here, sort of thing. You have this
Just one of
communication
the
device.
role-playing faux pas of like not going in and missing out on the action, but the reality is somebody needs to be at the car.
Don't you worry about that. That's my job. But yeah, so you're staying in the car park area.
Yes.
At the limo and everything.
Yes.
Now, how are you guys entering? Are you entering as a group, or are you going in separate groups, or are you all going individually?
I think me and Doc would probably be going in together.
Yeah.
Because we're going
Okay.
to do the same thing together. Maybe
Right.
stagger the others.
Yeah, Gem and Gun might go in individually.
Okay. Oh, just for clarity, so that's your turn of order. That's how you're going in, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just before we go in, I'll do a quick mic check on the earpieces. Sound off.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. New technology. Love it.
Yeah. Nah, can't hear you, mate.
Great. Chat to a minimum.
No.
Sound's not off. I can hear you.
And
I just
yeah,
look at Doc and just look done. Before we've even started, I look done.
and yeah.
Hey, is Duck sensing any weird shit on the doorway there that Gem mentioned?
From the outside, you cannot see anything.
Let's go inside then.
Does it look like a normal
Wait a minute.
security office thing,
was
or does
Ben.
it look different? Or
It's a small building, but it looks fairly new. It's
So
all
can
brick
I-
from the outside.
Can I sense anything inside the building, or does it just stop at the doors?
Doc, you can sense electricity running through this building. You can't quite. It's kind of just scattered. It's a bit fuzzy. From outside, but you can feel it, and you can feel you can feel the electricity running underground to all the streets and the buildings. And you can feel there's a considerable, not usual flow of electricity flowing into this building. And you can
Okay.
see it go up and it kind of scatters everywhere. But the weird thing about the whole building itself is it's glowing. Now this is unusual. You know, you look at other buildings, you can see the electricity like a tree going up through the building and separating out to everything. But for this building, the walls themselves are just loaded with electricity all over the
Wow.
place.
Right.
Okay. Right. I think something that I might be able to try myself then. Now, Gun can see through things
Yes.
only if they're moving. I imagine there will be people moving inside this building.
Yes.
Probably in this lower floor. I assume people are going in and out, right?
Yep.
Can Gun see?
You will have to roll your ability on that. That is
I don't know what ability to roll.
So it'd be a D20 plus your ranks in your vision power.
Gotcha. Right.
Don't click the dice on it because that's not how it works on these character
Nope.
sheets.
That's all right. No, it's going to be a D20 plus 7 then. Bum, 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 bum.
Nice.
Yeah. You look and you feel a bit more of a strain than usual. You know, usually you're
Right.
this power's quite, you know, it's quite natural to you. You're used to using it. You see blurs, but you
Okay.
kind of get a gist, and there's a lot of people inside, from what you can tell. Just as a
Yeah.
quick, you can.
What I wanted to know was, does the power work? Because Gemma's mentioned they had these kind of things that inhibited powers.
Yep.
And that's what I'm trying to ascertain.
Yeah.
There's something's interfering, right?
Yeah, there's something definitely interfering with your ability, but you can somewhat see through it. But it's like I said, it's like looking through fogged glass, essentially.
Right. Okay. So I think I get on the radio thing to the rest of the guys and say, looks like they've got something there that's inhibiting.
Yep.
Abilities. So.
And straight away, by the way, whilst you're all stood, as you're coming up to this building, you do notice there is at least 4 security cameras already pinned on you as you're walking in. There's 2 overlooking the car park area, and there are 2 that are clearly fixated on the actual door to the building.
Well, I have to spend a hero point then to say that we didn't park right in front of the building.
Yeah, I think that's just to show that Andrew's in the car. I don't think we're right outside.
Yeah, no, you're not directly.
Yeah.
You
I just wanted to make sure we hadn't just drawn up at the front of the building and all got out at the same time.
Yeah, no, I'll say you've parked opposite. You know, you didn't just park up, all pile out, and then separate yourselves. That would be stupid.
That would be weird. Yeah, that's
You
what
drive through the front doors.
Avoid that.
Yeah, no, you've parked round the corner or where, you know, she's on the street or whatever. But yeah, but she could see the building and she could see you all going in, sort of thing.
Okay.
Well, maybe after they've all got out, I'll just swing round and park opposite across the road or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that's
once
fine.
they've got out and they've wandered off, I've come up and come closer to the building.
Yep.
Before we go in, Andy, I'm going to make myself become forgetful. Apart from to these mugs.
Okay. Yeah. Noted.
Might help.
As we're going up, because I've sensed I'm just obviously going to say through the earpiece and just warn everybody and just like, I don't know what's going on, but the walls are juiced. I can't tell what's in them, but be wary.
Just civilians going in. This should go absolutely fine.
Then you hear over the radio, I've moved the car over. It's in the front. Over.
You don't need to say over.
Well, how do you know she's finished?
And yeah, over these earpieces, there's no static, there's no noise or anything. Just crystal clear. You can very clearly hear each other. But you can't hear, you know, it's really well timed in that if you're talking next to each other, you can hear them in the earpiece, but you can't hear like any echo sort of thing coming through. These are, you know, these are high-tech pieces that you've been given.
Oh,
That's what they spent all their budget on.
this
So they
is
can't
it.
afford new vehicles.
That's
They-
what
Not bad.
I ran in ice
5
cream
ice
van.
cream van.
They do fully go into your ear, and they are well disguised. So unless someone literally looks
They
in
were
your ear,
going like this.
yeah. I mean, if you're doing that, yeah, you're gonna get spotted. But yeah, unless someone directly looks in your ear, you're not worried at all that someone's gonna clock these or anything. Although, you know, if you're stood talking to yourself, it might look a bit suspicious in this day and age.
No, because they might think you're on your phone. Hello, maybe. You know, you got ears, little ear things in.
Do people wear those little ear things anymore?
They really do.
They
No,
do.
Normally
I-
people just have
I very
headphones
rarely
in.
see
I
them.
get so
Yeah.
confused. I walk down the road thinking someone's smiling and talking to me, and it's not. They're talking to some mate, and you know.
If you wish to disguise it like that, that's absolutely fine. Just let me know now. If you're disguising it in any way, shape, or form.
That would be an interesting way of doing it. More realistic way of doing it.
Actually, yeah, I will. I'll get a one of those sort of larger, older looking Bluetooth earphones, and just
Get
have
over it.
that in place just to cover it.
Absolutely
That way,
fine.
if I'm talking, at least it just looks like I'm answering a call and being an asshole.
Yep, that's absolutely fine. Okay.
I'm kind of assuming that Gunn might be familiar with this kind of stuff and knows exactly what to do.
Yep. Yeah, Gun, you know you can easily just murmur under your breath without moving your lips, and it will get picked up on it.
Yeah.
It pulls from the jaw frequency, you know. So you know you don't need to really be loud or anything. It can pull up what you're saying without.
Okay.
You know, you can essentially
Wow.
whisper it to yourself.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Good luck, everybody.
And
Yeah.
Maestro and Doc, you walk in and open the front door.
Yeah. Don't forget to shout if things go south, yeah?
Understood.
And you enter this little lobby.
It's empty in the lobby.
It is empty, yeah.
I'm just going to. I probably would have said this on the way over, actually, just to, as a retcon thing. As we're coming over, I'll just say, for the purposes of this, refer to me as Danny. And what should we call you?
Ben.
Jem just rolls his eyes, which you can hear audibly through the car.
Just Eve.
Danny and Eve. Going into opening the pods box. It shouldn't come up, but if it does, good to have it.
Okay.
And fast forward back to you.
Yeah,
Oh, Christ!
You're in
There's a spider on the wall and it made me jump.
I know that feeling. You're in an airlock, so you can see there's two sets of doors either side of you, and they're automatic. So as you walk up to them, they will open. And it opens for you. And you enter this lobby area and you look around. There, as you can tell straight away on the map, there's two security guards at the doors that walk past. They are Kinetics SWAT officers, and they're holding assault rifles, very obviously, in their hands. You look across, you see there is a reception desk. There is two people. And there's a queue in front of each one of them. And there's a few other people sat in the waiting area. There's a gentleman on one side with a newspaper, reading it. And on one side, you catch a glimpse of one of the office doors on the sides open up. And a man comes out and is greeting two people, and he takes them into that little side office.
I guess we'll getting the first queue that's in front of us.
Okay.
Yep.
And it's very British, and we see a queue, we get excited.
Yeah. There's only 2 people in front of each one, so that's absolutely fine. And yeah, so you're there, and you're in the queue.
And just chat about something mundane as we're waiting.
Yep. Doc, as you're in the building, if you're using your senses to look around, things are weird in here. It's from the outside you struggled to see in, and now you're inside, you're struggling to see out. You can see very clearly now the electricity. You can feel it running around into the computers in front of you. Then outside of the building is kind of weird. You see the walls again, but then it's hard to kind of dictate anything outside those walls. Even though normally this wouldn't be an issue. You could, if you concentrated, you could usually sense it for quite a bit of a distance. Whereas now something's definitely interfering with you.
And the walls are they still glowing from this side?
Yeah, from the inside they're still glowing.
Okay.
But you do feel that the interior walls are not glowing. It's just the outer walls.
Okay. I'm going to be looking around and I want to check the cameras, like how many there is, and
Yeah.
whether they actually follow, or is it just standard rotate or anything?
There's a couple. All the cameras are black glass spheres, so you can't actually see where they're pointing.
Okay.
But you can very easily tell by looking at the electricity on them that they are cameras. They're not just there for decoration or anything. And you very quickly count about 12 12 in in this little lobby area that you're in.
Okay. So it's easy to assume there's no blind spot or anything.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Who's second to come into this building? Is it going to be Gem or Gun?
After you, Gem.
Yeah. So maybe we got out. I don't know. I feel like we would walk into it, not right out of the car, but maybe. Or I don't know. Are we in the car? We're in the car. I don't know. The cameras are on us.
No, we're not in the car.
You're not in the car.
We've got out and we've walked around the corner
We've
or
walked
whatever.
around the block, so we're walking together, and then before
Yeah.
we get into sight of the cat, yeah, okay, that makes
Yeah.
more sense. Right, cool. And then so I just walk ahead, having listened to the radio chatter, and I walk in through the entrance. But am I able to sense the same thing that you've described to Doc, and that is familiar to me from
Yes.
the previous days?
Yeah,
so as I walk up to that,
it is familiar to you. You get the same sense that you're struggling to see inside the building, and then the moment you step inside, it's completely reversed.
Yeah, and I just walk over to the other queue.
Yep.
Looking like I belong there, just a civilian.
Yep. Maestro and Doc, the person in front of you moves up forward, and you're one step closer to the desk at this point. And you see the person who was being served. He goes and sits in one of the sofas in the waiting area to the left of the map.
Okay.
Can we hear the exchange between?
Yeah. So the person in front of you steps in front, and you see this woman lifts her head. New or existing? And the person's like, "Oh, I'm new." And she went, "Have you filled in the form, or do you need to be taken through the process?" And he says, "Oh, what form?" And she slides a form under the glass, and she's just quickly running through this form for the person in front of you. Is there anything in particular you're doing, Gab?
I'm listening with my
Yep.
senses that go all around. I am listening to see if I can pick up any radio chatter from the guys behind me. trying to get a sense of how much security is in the building.
It's deadly silent.
Okay. In
There's
which case, all I'm hearing are the people at the front desk.
all you can hear is just the chatter from the front desk,
Ah.
and the odd murmur from a few. You kind of getting a murmuring coming from some of the offices that are around the sides and everything from
Sure.
conversations that are going in those rooms. You can't quite make them out, but yeah.
So yeah, I'm hearing the folk in front of me getting served like Maestro and
Yeah.
Docker. So I hear that as well. Yeah, cool.
And
no
there,
music in this place.
yes, I was about. Yeah, there is very gentle piano music, very posh, playing over the top of you.
Any songs Maestro knows?
No.
Likes his classical music.
There's not. No, there's there's not any music you would know now.
Okay. It wasn't going to help us. I was just curious.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's see us get a copyright strike on this episode.
Yeah. Gun.
Yeah, I'm going to walk into the office. Well, it's into the foyer.
Mhm.
Straight across here. I'm looking for is there like a rack with kind of leaflets that kind of show services provided by this establishment?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm heading straight over to that, and I'm just taking off a leaflet and starting to browse through. I'm taking a look around to see if I can spot security guards' potential opposition, and where they are. I can see on the map there's a couple of guys there by the entrance. Is there anybody else that I can see?
So in both waiting areas to the left and right, there's a couple of people sat. To the right,
Yeah.
there's a gentleman reading a newspaper. To the left is a person who was just served at reception, and he's filling out a form of some sort. There is in both waiting areas, there's a little like coffee table, and in there, there's like these little towers of loads of stacks of reams of paper, all different colours and everything. And then scattered on either side of that, on the tables themselves, are various newspapers and magazines.
Okay.
And there's also a couple of pens on chains. Sat on each.
Because it's a bank.
Yes. This is a bank. It's a very posh bank. Very posh.
It's pens, not pencils on
It's
string.
pens. These are Parker pens. They're still on chains.
Pens on chains.
They are
yeah.
still on chains, but they are Parker pens. So are you joining the queue, or are you going straight over to these waiting areas?
Yeah,
If you're joining
that's
the
what I
queue,
do.
you are going to be right behind the others, just so you know.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna do that.
Mhm.
I'm gonna make a kind of a theatrical display, look at my watch, and then head over and sit down in the waiting area just here.
Yep. And as you get closer and everything, you quickly glance at all this tower of different coloured reams of paper, and you see they're all different sort of forms.
Okay.
If you were to have a look at each one,
you know what? I'm gonna go and have a look because when you're sitting waiting for shit, you do stuff like that, don't you? So yeah.
And some of the forms are labelled new membership. Some are labelled security deposit requests. Some are labelled bank account requests. And then there's a couple that are kind of general ones, and then there's one of lost due to death sort of form request.
Oh. I'm going to take a look at one of those.
Yeah, any in particular, or just general?
The lost due to death.
Yep. And you pull it off, and you thought it was just like one slip of paper, but it pulls a ream of 20 that are all paperclip by a very beautiful gold paperclip in the top corner. And you browse through this form, and it seems to be related to if somebody has died, and you're the beneficiary to their account or safety deposit and everything. There's sections for if if it's a safety deposit, if you've lost the key or don't have access to the key, and it's like 40 odd pages, this particular booklet.
Okay.
And like I say, it's going in. It all seems to be about if you're trying to retrieve the account or information for somebody on behalf of somebody who has passed away.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I kind of go on the radio. I say, it might make for a far less interesting episode. But we could just fill out this form for Dr. Booth instead of breaking it, bring it to the bank.
Stick with the plan.
Gonna, as you suggest this, you do also, you do vaguely remember as well that Alex told you that Kinetics are looking for Mr. Booth this morning.
Oh yeah.
Maybe handing in a form about trying to reclaim his possessions as dead is probably not the best way to go as a stealth. May arouse suspicion.
It might be Gunn's preferred method, though.
Sorry, yeah.
Bring him to him.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. And a few seconds pass, and Doc, you hear the reception woman goes, right, that's the form. If you've got any questions, just come back to the queue and I'll go through them with you. If you'd like to go to one of those desks there are pens available, and there are also some questionnaires at the back that you need to fill out. And he nods his head. He takes this wad of forms, and he swanders off, and he takes a seat next to Gunn, funnily enough.
Mm.
And this receptionist is now looking at you, Gem and Doc, and she kind of
Who?
nods.
I'm Maestro, he's Gem.
I'm game.
Maestro! It's starting.
We're doing
Jeez.
so well.
I thought I was doing really well then. Maestro and Doc, she nods to you to come forward. Gem, the person in front of you who was at the till, she's gone, so you can step a step forward as well. That's what I meant to say.
That's what he meant all along.
Yeah.
I hear what's going on, so I go off to the waiting room and grab one of the forms and begin filling it in for a new account.
Okay.
Because I heard what was all going on, and I know what finance is like and admin people. It's too much like my job in here right now.
Yeah.
And
It's very close to my job as well.
Maestro and Doc, as you step up to the area. New or existing?
Existing.
Bank services or depository?
Depository.
Okay, I take it you have your key.
I'll put the key on the desk.
Very good. Have you got
Teamwork.
the box number that you're after?
Yes.
She slides a little piece of paper under the thing, which is clearly she's indicating you to write it on. It's not something you would probably say out loud. And again, at this window, there's a little Parker pen on a chain for you.
Scribble, scribble.
Yep. And you're writing down the 17143D, yeah?
Mhm.
Okay. And she pulls the paper back and she looks at you and goes, "One moment." And she starts typing away on her computer.
Let's hope everything goes well.
Why wouldn't it?
She looks at the screen. I see.
Is there a problem?
Not at all. I just need to make a phone
I
call.
want to read her.
Yes, do you want to roll your ability?
Yes, please. Oh, that's not good. Why is it always bad?
Oh, no.
Hell of a-
Plot point.
It's only critical. Hero point.
Hero
Should I
point.
use-
Have
Her
not-
will might be terrible. She's a normal person, I might get what she's doing.
You have to decide before I tell you the outcome.
Oh, because if I do a hero point, I could roll worse. Let's use a hero point. Let's do it. Let's re-roll. Does this make me tired if I do this?
No. If you're using the hero point, it doesn't make you tired. It's only if you use extra effort.
That's better. That's better. That's a good hero point.
Okay.
I'm gonna repeat it last time.
Oh,
And you read her, and you can hear a thought, and all she's thinking is, "Oh, it's a staff account. I have to get supervisor authorization for this one."
Telepathically to Doc, I'll just say, "We're all right."
And she just looks at you and says, "Won't be a second." And she picks up her little phone. "Yes, I need authorization." "Yes. Yes, it's one of our accounts, yes." "Yeah, no worries." And she puts the phone out. "Won't be a second, I just have to have a secondary authorization. You see, it's a high-level account that you're accessing."
Yes, of course.
And you just stood there for a minute. Gun, what are you doing?
I'm looking at this guy's just kind of come and sat down next to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of, I've got him sitting kind of left of me, and I can see the guys in the queue just kind of beyond him. So I'm just kind of looking at him, pretending to look at him, and I'm kind of looking straight past him. But I'll be making idle conversation with him. Things like, "Oh, these forms, eh?"
I know, but I've been told it's worth it. Very secure here.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that at all.
Also,
Yeah.
I believe you can avoid a lot of tax.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Not paying your dues and everything. That's a good thing, right?
Well, every penny helps. Can't let the peasants get hold of this, can we now? What?
Peasants. No, absolutely. Yeah.
Are you getting a bank account too? Oh, and he looks at the form and says,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm dreadfully sorry. Oh, I hope they won't close."
Oh, no, not at all. Bit of an arsehole, to be quite honest.
Father, was it?
It's grandfather, actually.
Oh,
Died very
wretched, aren't they?
suddenly. Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm doing that. I'm looking over just to see, make sure that the guys aren't looking panicky or anything like that. So I'm kind of switching between the two, looking at this guy and then across to them to make sure they're okay.
Yeah, you look at them. They don't obviously appear to be panicked or anything. They're just stood there waiting by the looks of it.
I whisper. I can hear all this going on. I can hear this conversation. I say to Gunn, "Get his address, and we'll pay him a visit later."
Kind of wishing that we could speak through Maestro here. I'm not asking this guy for his address. What do you fucking think I am? Go into a bank and pick
Doc
up
just
random
sees
strangers.
Maestro's eye twitch as Gem says that really open
And I
frequency.
say, "Read his form, you idiot."
As this is happening, Weeping Widow.
Hello. Oh. Hello.
We still heard you, to be fair. You're sat out in the car, and you're keeping an eye out, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm watching. What I was probably watching for is to check see if there's any. Like if someone was like patrolling the outside or walking the outside.
Yep.
in any sort of like scheduled routine or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, even though they might be in civvies or something, you know, the same umbrella person walks by 4 times or something.
Okay, roll me a perception.
But I'm distracted by a game on my phone,
Mhm.
Tetris.
Candy
Yeah, you are.
Crush.
And as far as you're concerned, you look up occasionally and you look back down your phone. You're trying to be, but yeah, no, you're bored. You're bored, so you're more focused on what's going on your phone more than anything.
Yeah, it's a good game, Tetris.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And as you're doing this, I wish you to roll a secondary perception check.
You won the game.
I did.
And as you're sat there, not really paying attention to the building, your eye catches somebody walking down the street, coming towards your car. And you recognize this person. It's Margaret.
She
Dead, Margaret.
she died in the back of that limo that you're currently in. It's a ghost.
She's
She
walking
sees dead
down my
people.
side of the street.
Walking around like regular people.
Yeah, you could see dead people. Yeah, she is walking on the side of the street that you're parked on. She's only about a few feet away from your car at the moment, walking past.
As she approaches, I'm going to open the door so she walks into the door.
Are you aiming to hit her with this door?
Slightly. To make her stop. I'm not going to maim her. I'm just like...
Slam the door into this old lady.
It's Ben. It's Ben. Kill her with the door.
Okay, can you roll me a strength check? A straightforward strength check.
Against the ghost.
Yeah, see, I don't hurt her.
Okay, you lean over and you time it, and as she gets to your car, you pull the handle and give the door a sensible, and it smacks straight into her. And you see her, it hits her right in the shin, and she kind of stumbles back a bit. Oh, ah! And she looks at you, currently leaning over from the driver's position, who's just clearly pushed the door open on her.
Margaret. Fancy seeing you here.
I'm sorry? Do I know you?
Yes, get in. I'll drive you home.
I'd rather not. You've just
Well, I
opened
injured
the
you.
door
Let
on
me
me.
get you, take you home.
I think I'm bleeding on my shit. Who are you?
I have a first aid box in the car. Sit in, I'll help you.
And as you're doing this,
Hey, wait. Don't I have some kind of cool thing that makes people believe me?
yes.
I'm
You do.
particularly attracted, giving you a plus 5 circumstances bonus on deception, persuasion checks to deceive, seduce, or change the...
Are you trying to seduce Margaret
No, I'm
with your
persuasion.
attractiveness into the car?
It's persuading her.
I'm
to get
persuading her,
into
not to do with my attractiveness.
But it's specifically your extra beauty. So it kind of counts for only roles where you're kind of...
Okay, fascinate, persuasion.
Okay, you can roll me a persuasion.
It says, take a standard action, make an interacting skill against the target's posing check. If you succeed, the target is entranced.
Yeah.
Trying to kidnap an old lady right now.
Go on.
It makes a change, doesn't it?
Look,
Usually children.
I will say, if you, yeah.
Control.
You are at a disadvantage because you just slammed a door into her. And she's less inclined to want to actually listen to
yeah,
you.
with that roll, with a 20.
She looks at you hesitantly, and she kind of moves around the door when another gentleman approaches. I saw what you did there, ma'am. Are you okay, love? She just opened that door on purpose in front of you.
Not on
That's
purpose.
a claim,
It was
you
an
know.
accident.
You can't just do that. That's assault.
It was an
And-
accident. And I have a first aid kit in here, and I'm going to take her home.
What? Are you okay? Oh, I don't know. My shin, I think, is bleeding. Oh, she's bleeding. She is.
I know she's bleeding. That's why I've got to put a plaster on.
And the gentleman looks up and he starts shouting, "Officer! Officer!" And you can see about 5 or 6 cars down. There's a police officer walking down. Officer! Assault! Assault!
This is London we're talking about here.
Yeah.
I'm presuming we can hear all this through the earpiece, right?
You can hear Angie's part of the conversation, yeah.
Just
think
as we're
it-
waiting, I'm gonna pretend that my earpiece is ringing, put my finger into it, pretend to answer, and just go, "Hello, yeah? Okay,
No.
don't make a scene. Whatever you do, do not make a scene. Just go with it. Do not make a scene. We'll speak later."
And
Margaret's here, by the way. You know dead Margaret?
Oh, he's saying that.
No, I'm saying it quietly.
Okay.
we'll go back to
I've already
Maestro-
pretended to hang up the phone.
And we go back to Maestro and Doc. And you're hearing all this ruffle, and all of a sudden, as you're stood at the front desk, a gentleman steps through the front door, the private door behind the counter.
Is that
Keanu
Mr.
Reeves.
Anderson?
Brilliant.
Keanu Reeves himself.
And he comes up to the computer. And he looks at the monitor, and he looks at you two. And he leans down to this receptionist, and he whispers something into her ear.
Do I hear it?
No, it's so quiet. The piano music and everything. You could roll for it, but it's going to be ridiculously hard if you want to try for it.
Oh, I want to try for it.
I try and read it to see if I can pick
You
up.
will be at
any-
disadvantage because it's whispering in a loud room.
Okay, so it's perception at disadvantage.
Yeah.
So that's 1. That's 2.
That's not how disadvantage works.
No, sorry, disadvantage works different in this. So you basically get a minus success straight away on your scoreboard. Yeah.
So I rolled a 7.
Yeah, so I'll take your first one. So, yeah, you don't hear anything. It's
Yeah, this music.
you
Okay, let's go.
you
Fine.
do notice though. You do notice this lean. You don't hear a single thing.
Cool.
Can I try and read her to see if I can pick anything up?
You want to read the? Yeah, if you're going for the receptionist,
lady.
yes.
Yeah, because I've already read her. I don't think this ability is one of the continuous ones.
No. No. Yep.
Do it again.
Yeah, and you just catch it, and all you kind of hear his voice in her head as she's thinking about what he just said, and she's thinking, let's see where this goes. Okay, weird.
So she sort of got like confusion and curiosity on her mind, I guess.
Yeah, and
Okay.
the man pulls out his ID that was on a lanyard around his neck, and he swipes on the computer. And then he turns round and walks back through the private door.
Was that everything?
Yes, okay. If you want to just wait round to my left here at the back doors, someone will be through shortly to escort you down to the holding areas.
Okay.
Just
Thank you.
thank you.
Did they keep hold of the key or have they passed it back?
She never took the key off you. You showed it to her. She never took it off you.
She said go down here.
Yep.
And loiter with intent.
Loiter with intent. And as you come round to this back door, this back door opens up.
I'm glad that one opened and not the security.
And there's a gentleman there. Ah, if you'd like to follow me.
Yes, of course.
And I whisper into the earpiece, look out for those barriers.
Right, have you been here before?
Not personally, no.
Oh, okay. Not a problem. If you'd like to follow me, we'll have to take the lifts. We have to go down a few floors. Is none of you claustrophobic or anything? It can be a bit awkward once you get down there.
No. Should be
Very
fine.
good. And he presses the little elevator button, and
There's the mobile reception down there, just in case I get a call.
I'm afraid not. No, it's about 20 floors down.
Not to worry.
20 floors.
It is a very yeah. And you step in the lift. You step in the lift. And you notice there's only 4 buttons on this elevator. You've got the ground floor, which is currently illuminated. You then have a button under it that is has S on it. And then you have another button below that that has D on it. And then you have one above you that says 1. And he presses D.
That correlates to the security box, I suppose.
And the lift doors shut. And you feel this lift starting to descend. It will be about a minute in this lift, I'm afraid. And there
Not to worry.
are a couple of chairs at the back of the lift. Feel free to take a seat.
Ugh. Having good weather lately, eh?
Yes, I suppose we are. And as this
Just
is
awkward
happening, Gun and Gem, you see this man re-emerges at reception. And he has a bit of a grin on his face.
Oh shit.
And that's where we're going to leave tonight's episode.
No, you can't
Oh,
do that.
But why?
Descending into the depths.
That's what the D stands for.
Yeah.
Death.
Yes.
Oh my lordy, lordy, lordy.
There we go.
Yeah.
I want to find out what Keanu's got to say.
So we'll leave it there. Gun and Gem, you're in the reception area, being observed by this gentleman. Weeping Widow, you're in some sort of debacle outside with
Of your own.
with Margaret on your own.
Always violent.
And
You just
Maestro
assaulted an
and-
old lady.
Maestro and Doc, you're
Rude.
Sorry.
going down in an elevator.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
I
I've
kind
There's
of
a
think,
body there.
yeah, I kind of think that Gem and Gun are probably in the best position at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just scarp her.
Yeah.
Oh,
They just-
you'd like to think that, wouldn't you?
Look, that's going to happen to us. We might have to fill out some really extensive forms.
Yeah.
You might
I've already
get
started.
Yeah.
you might get our a strained wrist or something.
Yeah.
All I'm hoping is that maybe that there's a private joke that Keanu had with the receptionist, and that's what he's smiling about. And maybe he asked her out on a date or something. She's like, "Oh, that could be interesting." Maybe it's all innocent.
I'm hoping that he speaks a bit louder, thinking that you're out of earshot and I can hear. I hope that's what I'm hoping.
Ooh.
I'm really hoping it's innocent.
I'm
We'll
hoping it
find
all
out.
kicks off, and we.
You ready for a fight?
Yeah, Gem's ready for a fight, but he wants to hear the guy get rebuffed and kicked and told off for inopportune advances.
Oh,
And
in the
that would be
workplace.
funny. That'd be
Yeah.
Just
funny.
hear a full HR meeting
And then
happen.
we
Yeah.
can,
in the
then we
private
can blackmail him.
Hmm.
Mr. Anderson.
Other secret agents are available.
We
Yeah,
are
so-
Men in Black.
No. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time to see how this story goes, and see how things develop.
That means that next week is D&D.
It is.
Next
Yeah.
week it is D&D.
What's the worst that could happen?
What is the worst that can happen?
What are you saying? That
I
because
think we-
that's what is going to happen.
Yeah. We've made a plan, and it seems to be going
We've made a plan.
too well.
See, the thing
But
It
is,
does. It's going
thing
exactly
is,
as
if
you
you
planned
think-
so far.
if you think as a
we
civilian,
planned or you planned?
everything so far is sort of going right. Andy is just trying to put it out in such a way that it freaks us out to make us do something wrong.
I mean, so far the only thing that's slightly skewed is the fact that somebody's assaulted an old lady in the street. It's just so far it's going.
Let me put it this way: we can always walk home afterwards.
I don't know. I mean, the fact is, she assaulted a dead old lady. That's
Yeah.
Shows us all, which is
not any old lady.
Someone
Mm.
that literally died in the back of
Yeah.
the car.
like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
2 days
Mm.
ago.
Oh wait, she didn't die, and they've got the safety protocol thing, so she can't remember anything.
She did
She
die.
did
She was in
die.
the.
She died
You
in the
kept
back
her
of
in
the
your
car.
morgue.
You
You literally
Oh
kept
yeah,
her.
oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
Just-
actually
just-
dealt with the body, if I recall.
Yeah, Weeping Widow, you did dissect that body of
Yeah,
Margaret.
you shoved
And-
that
Okay.
vacuum cleaner into
Forgot
it.
that. I forgot that, which is quite a major plot point. Which might, if I remember, might have changed my action slightly.
It's a bit late now.
Hero point, yeah. Can you use a hero point to retcon stuff.
Well, after the session.
You can only use it to change a scene, and it can be vetoed by the DM.
Ah,
Yeah, and
And
he
it's
liked
usually
control
for little
me, so
things.
he's
Yeah.
going to
It's
let that go
usually-
now.
Well, you can't use it to rewind a situation once it's played out. You can use it to edit a situation currently, but you can't use it to rewind and undo.
Don't you all wish I had a better memory?
Well, you take all those notes, Ange.
You were going on before how you remembered something. We're so impressed and proud,
Yeah.
and then you forgot that somebody
I mean,
died.
It would.
Why were you
I can't
dissecting
help.
it? I thought funeral
No,
parlors was normal.
she didn't dissect it. She basically just shoved that silver vacuum cleaner
I'm
thing
embalming
inside it
them, which is what funeral
and
directors
sucked
can
out all the
do.
internal organs
just-
like a spider.
I'd like to know, Weeping Widow, why you didn't just roll down the window and shout out, Margaret. Why did we go with the open the
I'm
door
not
into
sure.
her?
Because
That does feel like what Widow would do, considering there was a woman that may have told, and the first response was, "We should kill her."
it was basically to stop her from walking. I could
Yeah,
have
I
just said,
suppose, by
I could
breaking
have
her
just
legs.
got
That's
out maybe and
You could have
said,
just got out the limo.
You ever had a car door open on you?
It hurts.
okay,
Especially when
I
you're
did
mid-stride.
think this through, and I don't know what you left me out there unattended. I don't know what you expected.
You say that, but you
But
felt
it's not like
our
doing
fault.
it.
It's our fault, guys. It's our fault.
You left me out there without any adult supervision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is our bad. We shouldn't have left Widow on her own.
See, I just act on instinct. That's the problem. There's no planning. It's just,
Yeah.
I just thought it would stop it from walking, which it did. Okay, I didn't think it through, and I forgot that I'd forgotten that I'd embalmed her.
We're not on the floor. That's all we need. That's all we can be thankful for.
Yeah. And we will be back in 2 weeks' time to see where this develops. So I hope you've enjoyed tonight. Don't go anywhere. Once we've all sodded off, we'll be raiding someone as usual. So when you go over there, don't forget to spam our emotes, and we will see you next Friday.
Yes. Yeah,
The
Blades in the Dark,
Blades
which
in the
I actually
Dark.
noticed that we forgot to put on the April schedule, the last Friday of the month.
It's all right,
All
it's not
three
like
of
your
us
husband's
checked
running
that
it or
schedule.
anything.
All three of us checked that schedule.
Yeah.
So yeah, Blades in the Dark on Friday, D&D Saturday, and Josh's Black Claw is Black
That's on
afternoon, yeah.
Saturday as well,
Saturday
yeah.
afternoon, yeah,
Offline.
offline. But he was taking some time off, so I'm not sure. He did say the 8th, but or something like that. He did
We'll
message
sort it out.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining, and we will see you again soon.
Cheers.
Bye.
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 Bye.